It is finals day in week number 4. The final 2 matches for the week to accrue some more money. Not necessarily a guarantee to land unless the calculations say so. There's more action to come next week, but it is the finale of this week's action. It'll be starting off in Europe. It'll be finishing in North America. DDK is over there. I was looking at myself in the program and I was like, wrong way. This is DDK. And this is Eric. Eric, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
I couldn't wear it myself. I don't think it would suit my
It's
me.
a little
But I
different.
appreciate it. I appreciate things that, different things.
I like that. I could be a little different here and there.
I like it.
A little screwball, you know.
What's going on with you, Dan?
It's good. I played a game of CS today.
Today?
Yeah.
Really?
That's dedication.
How did it go? What did you play? What map?
Mirage, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Went really well. 45 frag exchange.
Okay, so we have some issues. We have some issues here.
Yeah.
Because we all played together after the show, including some of the guys in the back. And if Dan is the captain, it's always Cash or Mirage. If it's either Dan, Eric, or Cause who does the replays for us. So if he's the captain, he's AFK. If Dan's the captain, it's Cash or Mirage. If Eric is the captain, and if Vertigo is an option, we'll go there. But we'll see more of the maps. Might see an overpass, something like that. I feel like we had a good run of games yesterday, even though we lost all of them. We should have won most of them. I don't know about the train game.
We lost
by a fair margin.
It's just one of those days where just nothing worked well. Even
Vertigo,
though it was close.
Vertigo, we should have won.
Yeah.
We have communication problems.
We have really
Not everybody talks, and that is an issue.
I think everyone's really tired at that point of the day as well, so everyone's just checked out.
I think we lost 150 elo yesterday.
Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it.
Which is like a lot of these guys are level 10. I'm still in elo hell. I've been like level 3/4 the entire time I've been here in America, which is insane. That
it's been years.
It's like talk about prison a lot. It's like a prison sentence, basically. I just can't escape no matter what. Because if I play people at that level, my game sense is a lot further than theirs, so I end up just like annoying everyone because I'm like, no, you shouldn't be. I'm constantly. It's like nagging, but I'm trying to like limit the mistakes. But it's not even about the number of mistakes at that point. It's about the fatal mistakes. It's just the big mistakes, and it's a roulette wheel. So that's that. Anyway, that's our hell. But let's go to the main action today. I wanted to say main squeeze, but that doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. Let's look at the format, shall we? Because again, in the previous 3 weeks, if you won the week, you made it to LAN. 13th, 16th of May, 21st to 24th of May. In these weeks, you're trying to accrue money across the 2 weeks. Below, you can see the teams who are in this week's bracket, and we can move over to the bracket and see how people have made their way to where they are now. Avangar, however you want to pronounce it, versus Ninjas in Pajamas. These 2 teams they've been great to watch, I would say. We didn't see the Forza Avangar game. We're watching FaZe versus Pro, but VP versus Avangar. We saw some Vertigo there as well. So maybe we'll see Vertigo later on today. But I think they've both been impressing. Lots of little details from Avangar on their T's and CT sides really make them stimulating to watch. And NiP, I think they're in good form. They've had some fantastic T sides from what we've seen this week, and I think this is going to be really interesting.
Yesterday, they were very impressive. I think it's been a while since I saw them be quite so structured, yet still feel so comfortable to just play loose within that structure. So they're in a really good spot right now, and I love the momentum because they're very much a confidence-based team, and they've got some great momentum right now. Everyone's really performing. Dennis has found his feet in the team finally. Get right as well. I think he's also found his feet within the roles that are on the team, and I think this is gonna be a really cool match because if NiP can play that level of team play against the Avangar, should be an intense match. I think we should get some really exciting clutches and awesome post-plant situations. This should be the best game of the week for sure. I thought yesterday's Mousesports NiP game would be, but NiP were too good.
They were too good.
Way too good.
Now, according to our scientists in the back, our Chinese Mexicans have been doing the numbers. And apparently, well, this is a must-win for both teams, essentially. However, it won't guarantee a place at LAN in this week for any team, but it will make them a strong contender to make it to LAN. Next week will have something to do with it. Avangar aren't playing in the next week, so they have to win this. I don't think that they will qualify if they don't win this match, basically. If Ninjas in Pajamas win this match, then they are almost guaranteed to make it to LAN. So lots and lots to play for. And where is LAN? LAN is in London. ECS.facer.com is where you can find out more information about the LAN, the finals, the live finals in London. We're going to be in the SSE Arena. They often are in London. The first finals of the year, season 7 finals. Doesn't feel like it's been. I mean, this is basically 4 years, which is pretty crazy. It's changed dramatically since the first one, but it doesn't feel like 4 years to me. But here we are, number 7. Speaking of numbers, 260 days since we could draw on the map. They're aware. When I send an email about this, they don't reply, but they're aware. They know. But who knows if how long this will continue for. This clock will keep ticking for the time being. So again, if you can get down to the finals, please make sure you do, because it is an enjoyable experience. Counter-Strike's cool online. It's even better when you're part of something, when you're part of a community, when you've got the beach balls out, you've got the beer if you're old enough, and all the other things that come, the t-shirts, the merchandise, the player signings, the meet and greets, all that stuff is really good. Maybe you'll make some friends, you'll have some buddies for your face-up party for when you play online, or even duos for Danger Zone. I always solo queue. I'm a lone wolf. I like doing it the hard way. No,
I see you.
I do it alone.
Because last time we actually fought, we won the game. Remember?
We could do
we're
it.
1-0 right now.
I played it yesterday, and I dropped. I forgot what I dropped with, but I found a CZ. And there was this duo, and they both had Riot shields, but I took them both out. I actually quite like the dynamic of Danger Zone at the moment with the respawns and so on. Like the first respawn's like in 10 seconds, so you've got to find that guy quickly. The second guy, take him out, so he can do the team wipe. So that all works out pretty damn well. I love Danger Zone, man. I think it's weird. Like anything is not going to be for everyone, right? That's just the way life is. But I feel like when it first came out, I mean, maybe it wasn't perfect. I mean, what is? But I think that a lot of people are looking at traditional battle royale games, and they're like, okay, well, if I compare this to this, it's not this. I don't think it was ever trying to be that. It's trying to be its own thing. So if people take it for what it is, rather than compare it to like a Fortnite or whatever, then they might actually enjoy the game.
You just can't compare.
I think the Score Esports, they put out a video saying, "Oh, Danger Zone sucks. You suck, man. Danger Zone's awesome." And the person who reviewed it as well, I know who he is. He admitted that he sucks at the game. It's like you're kind of not putting yourself as a reasonable reviewer of this if you are just terrible at the game. Danger Zone's awesome.
Just got to build on to it.
Yeah, because you might not like it doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah, just don't play it. Go and play Bejeweled or whatever. You know, something more appropriate for your skills. But Danger Zone, I love playing Danger Zone, and I think it's a fantastic game if you're a streamer as well, because it's really fun to like. Simple had a tense win on it recently. I think it's awesome. Have you played Danger Zone, Dan?
A little bit. It's not my thing. It's fun for a little bit, but it's not my thing, really.
Here's a man with a reasonable opinion.
Yeah. I mean, let's
not make these clickbaity titles talking about stuff I love, because I'll clap back at you. Yeah.
It's just its own thing.
Yeah.
So it's its own thing. Yeah, it's just a cool game mode that Valve created that you can mess around with, and it's more casual friendly. Yeah. So it's a nice mix up for people.
I like it. Like
in lieu of operations.
Yeah, if we look at how our games yesterday, right? You know, there were some tense moments. There were some frustrations. Like I don't have that with Danger Zone. It's like because people play Counter-Strike for fun. I play because I love it. It's a passion, but I want to win, and also I'm tired of being in this stupid elo rank, right? Which I should not be in. Okay, so if I'm playing the real game, like you know, I'm focused. Unless I'm super tired or something. Aside from when I'm trying to knife someone and I'm throwing around for my whole team, and sometimes I shouldn't, right? But if you just put that aside, then Danger Zone is like I can relax, I can enjoy the game without that pressure, I can have fun, and you can also find some ridiculous situations, especially now there's riot shields and stuff. That's awesome. I think if you're a streamer, it's engaging to watch. My stream guys and girls, they love watching Danger Zone, so I think people should play it. Anyway, let's get into the vetoes, shall we? Let's have a look at this, at the battlegrounds for this series. Avangar versus NiP, playing to all but qualify for a place at LAN. So Vertigo's been vetoed immediately by Ninjas in Pajamas, which I think is a good idea. I think you've got to really have your stuff ready. Even Liquid did. They had double nades towards default and so on yesterday, and they managed to lose it against Luminosity. So it's still a high variance map, not what you want in this situation when it's a must win. You can see Dust 2's been picked by Avangar. NiP have gone with Train. That's a good two maps for NiP, really, with Inferno as the last one. That's not a bad shout. Any opinions, guys?
So Nuke is a usually go-to ban for Avangar. They never play it. They always ban it first. And what we saw yesterday at NiP, it's one of the best nukes I've seen on T-side ever. And they had the whole shebang. Rushes outside, rushes upper, slow strats, fakes just the whole smorgasbord of strats over there. and so it's good to see that as we talked earlier, the form on NiP, it's just beautiful.
It's proper mwah, mate. It's proper mwah. All right. Well,
Tasty.
it is time to go to the predictions brought to you by Pinnacle, and it's going to start with the Mandem in the studio. Dan, you can go first today.
I think I'm going to go NiP. I think the map pool's pretty good for them if their form is similar to yesterday. I think they have that level of flair that's going to be able to deal with the likes of Jame, and I think on paper as well they are better players on paper across pound for pound. I think it's close though, but I think it'll be a 2-1. I think they'll win Train and Inferno. I think they might lose Dust 2 though.
Eric.
So if this was any other week, I'd actually pick Avangar, but since watching NiP yesterday, the confidence and I think that they're going to have the edge for sure, and I'm going to pick NiP. They made me believer again.
That's how I feel, actually. Yeah.
Connor, what do you think?
I like the maps for Avangar, but yeah, NiP yesterday just looked unreal, so I'm going with them.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of Avangar at the moment, but I think the sheer form of Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday was so impressive. I did pick them to win yesterday, but the fashion in which they did it, I feel like it's going to be really hard to stop them. So I'm going to go for Ninjas in Pajamas as well. So that's a clean sweep today. Now we can look at the fan predictions and see what the people on Tinterweb are, where they stand on this one. Wow, that is quite a lot. But again, I don't know what kind of a fan base Avangar has in terms of the online viewership and so on. So I think that this is not a reasonable consideration. I would put it like 60-40, I think. Maybe 65-35.
It's pretty close. I think it's pretty closer than what the numbers say.
Yeah.
Again, even though we think NiP's going to win, Avangar's still a really solid team, and they have solid tactics and good spacing and timing, which can provide troubles if you're going to be spread out and aggressive like some teams can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's see what Pinnacle themselves have got. So this is more like it. I think they're pretty on point actually, unless they're feeling generous. I think this is really a solid. This is very representative, I think, of the actual situation we have among us. So I think that Avangar are a slight dog, and NiP are a slight favourite. So this is going to be an interesting series. Our first series of the day. We've got Liquid and MIBR afterwards. That's going to be quite interesting, but we can talk about that one later. Yeah, Avangar. I put a clip up. Just a small example. There was on Inferno when we saw Jane being run boosted on the way to Banana. He did get wrecked by a statue, but that wasn't the point. The point was just a sheer attention to detail and organization. They're very much a unit of Avangar, and that's what people sometimes they'll come in my chat right when I'm streaming. And they're like, "Oh, who do you think who's your favorite player, or what's your like?" In some interviews, people will say like, "If you could put 5 players together, you know, who would you pick?" Like some kind of like all-star football team or something. But I never have an answer to that because I'm interested in team play. And if you just put 5 names up, right, you're talking about individuals. You're not talking about a team.
Yeah.
You're talking about 5 individuals on a team as opposed to a team itself. And the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Is how I look at Counter-Strike, and a team like Avangar I think are a great example of that, where the tactical prowess is really, really awesome. There's lots of small things they do I find stimulating. So that was an example just to show you what's cool about Avangar. So I think, especially for younger viewers, brand name of players has a lot to do with their interest, like they want to see it simple and so on like that. But I think that there's a lot to appreciate in how a unit works together. I think that's the most beautiful part of Counter-Strike for me.
Teamwork it's all about teamwork. You could be one of the best players in the world and still not win because other teams playing a lot better. And Simple's probably the best example of this. The best player in the world, but they're not winning every single tournament. Why? Because it's a team game. Makes sense. That's why you like to see it. You can rely on other people, work together.
Absolutely.
Camaraderie.
So the game is live. We are going to start the proceedings again. Both these teams fighting for LAN. Basically, essentially trying to eliminate each other from making it to LAN. I think that is the situation at the moment, and then we'll see a culmination this next week. So if Avangar win this, then the situation is out of their hands for next week, but they could qualify. And NiP will almost definitely qualify. I believe they're playing next week as well.
The classic cat push on Dust 2 with the Xbox smoke, and it's all going to come down to the headshots. Basically, no utility here or kits or anything like that here for anyone. So it's all about these headshots. Oh, the lineup. Surely you'd expect Jane to get 1 or 2 there. There's finally 1, and NiP looking to secure the bomb plant, but they are losing players. Think on to Jame, but it looks like Avangar going to clean this one up. Just get right in the 1 versus 5. Be nice if you get some money, make some money with the P250 headshots if you can find some. And denied. So 5 will survive, but the bomb goes down for NiP, which gives them some pretty strong options on Dust 2, actually.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot on T-side pistols at Xbox Smoke. I think almost every single game that we've seen on Dust 2, there's a team that's been tossing at Xbox Smoke. So, I mean, it's a really good smoke. It denies information for Catwalk, and it keeps the CTs kind of pushed back a little bit towards middle.
I love it when there's a CT boost onto short and the T smoke for short goes up. And then the TTs can just use that to look up mid.
Yeah, to
with cover
swing.
from lower tunnel.
So it does have its
Drawbacks?
drawbacks to it, but you just have to, in order for that to work though, you have to kind of pre-boost, as you said. You got to boost early.
Yeah, it's a rare occasion when it happens, but definitely something to look out for.
We've also seen a couple games where one of the CTs would hide in the smoke on Xbox. They would sneak in middle and then jump on Xbox and then kind of just lurk in the area. So we do see some teams actually expect that and spam the smoke.
Yeah, it's interesting because you could take 1 shot in there, and if someone is there, then you're going to see some crimson flying around, and then you've got confirmation someone's there, and then it's doom for them. Nothing but doom. Right, so we have a Desert Eagle or 2 being pulled out for Ninjas in Pajamas at the moment, and the game has been unpaused.
James, have you ever heard this term? One person can move a rock, but many can move a mountain?
Is that what you're going to tell me next time I'm lurking, like, let's all go here?
Listen, I like when you lurk. Just don't do it 15 rounds in a row. That's all I'm saying. Mix it up.
Jump spotting for Avangar, and the same for Ninjas in Pajamas. I love doing big damage with a grenade and replays.
It's a fake.
Oh, it's not a replay. I thought it would be a replay. That was really confusing, but anyway. 3 pistols remain. No Kevlar for Ninjas in Pajamas. I recently put out a video on dropping a Molotov behind those doors.
I gotta look it up.
Example from Rush on Cloud9. It's really nice. From lower tunnel, just aim in a corner of something and away it goes.
Ooh.
Nice and easy. As are headshots with a Desert Eagle for Lecro, it seems. Pretty consistent with those.
He's always good for 1.
Going back to Godsend days, it was really crazy because they'd be doing terrible on their T-sides of train, for example. And you just always find Lecro over Deagle just beasting people, but not winning the rounds. And it was always, well, not always, but often train. But that was the rise of the Deagle for Lecro. Well, he's escaped that jail and found himself in Ninjas in Pajamas, doing good at the moment.
I kind of like
overall.
that. I kind of like that round by NiP by just getting Deagles and not no armor, because then they're allowed to buy this round. But for Forrest, may have maybe held back from the Deagle so you get at least some armor. But it's good because of this map's long range. You see 1 Deagle headshot.
Get right in there. He's getting involved through the long position. They will boost up as well, which is great because you can look into the pits. You can look in. Wait, hang on. Is he pixel walking here? What's going on there? That looks really weird from the other perspective. Is he? What is it levitating?
Little ledge right there. You see the ledge?
But
It's a little lip.
all right. Okay. Well, anyway, often good to do, and long will be there for NiP. Again, the expected reaction is that the CTs will reinforce Catwalk after giving up long. So you want to then go and try and take Catwalk away to create more pressure. You can leave 1 player in long or multiple players in long, and then go for an A split. Or if you take loads of players Catwalk to clear that space, then you can go into a B split after pushing the players back on Catwalk. There's lots of options. The basics from NiP. They showed us great basics yesterday. And Fitch, is there a trade? The spacing, not quite there for the trade as Dennis looks for it. And Fitch absolutely nails it.
Ooh, rare miss from Forrest. Looks up short though. No, wouldn't hit that one either. It's a rough spot for Ninjas in Pajamas early versus Avangar. Lecro's collected the bomb. He's got 37 seconds. He will surely be heard by Buster. He's looking at mid doors at the moment, but he has gone to B doors. He's got the angle. He's ready. He's expected to. And there is a headshot from Buster. 3-0 for Avangar. Does he pick up an AK-47? No. Quite content with the AUGs. Those scopes are really useful for the B pushes, as we've seen in previous Dust 2s. When if you can't get through that choke point early, it's absolute decimation more often than not for pretty much any team at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely a scopy map. Lots of long range. Lots of just battles.
5 scopes for Avangar. 4 of them being AUGs.
The single AK buy from Lekra, I like that. That's cool.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
144.
That was a little earlier.
Yeah, a little early on that, but Lekro makes it work. Lekro, did he go Kevlar? The man of the hour. Jane, though, with the forward position. Oh, he's going to get chased. Chase it. Get him. Get him. Okay, they can't get him in time. They did get the gun, though. And you can see Red slows things down and tries to hold an angle, but Buster is wise to it. As at this point, NiP are wondering, okay, what are our objectives here? What are we able to accomplish? Some more frags, perhaps, might really be the only thing that he can possibly do. And a gun will be collected for Dennis, who does have some Kevlar. So it's 2 versus 4. The only thing that really sucks about this situation is the lack of utility. But they do have time, they do have guns and Kevlar, so that is something. And Buster on the B bomb side, he has an AUG, so he's not. We're not looking at the one-shot kill and fade away potential of an AWP. Maybe they can get past the choke point. There it is. Buster now is going to be calling for help. Going to be trying to survive and delay as much as he possibly can. And that's the best way to do it. Shoot him in the face.
There's time for Dennis. Buster dancing around double stack. The reload is in. Sees the shoulder. Wide peek from Buster. Doesn't quite work. Vanguard pretty slow behind him. Jamin and Fitch both coming from the apartments, from the halls. Fitch starting to creep out. He just about sees Dennis. Didn't seem to be sure of where they were coming from and how could he be. 2 players survive for Avangar, but they retain the clean sheet.
That's such an odd plant spot.
Yeah,
He's exposed from almost every angle other than tunnels, obviously. He can't see exactly where they're at, but maybe just a little safer.
It's a good round, though. I mean, they went down to $2,000. Only one guy bought an AK. They got 3 kills in the bomb down. Respect.
Respect it. So AK
Big
does
up
pay
yourself.
off. Believe.
Respect.
Vanguard's playing really well on their defense. They're getting kills and they're falling back. Oh, that's a nice shot from Forrest right through the smoke.
That almost never happens like that.
It's like once in a blue moon. 1 in 100.
What are the odds now? Minute 40 and it's a 5 versus 3. It would be very impressive if Avangar could turn this one around. But that might not be a bad start. Lekra are taken out in the middle position. They've got no one on shorts. Well, no one has anyone on short. And there's no one on A either. And Avangar are backing off, feeling like they are completely out of position. With Lekra pushing mid, they're probably assuming that short is in possession of Ninjas in Pyjamas. But the damage NiP did on those previous rounds, it's finally starting to pay off, and it hasn't come too late either. Plenty of time to have a really nice half. Some promising tagging. If you're taking Dennis up, if there was one more bullet there, maybe they'd go for it. But again, they're still out of position, so then again, maybe not.
Yeah, it's really impossible in Dust 2 when a catwalk's locked down and you're so far away. It's a great round from NiP for sure. They get the 2 picks. They don't get too excited, which happens sometimes. It's like, oh, we got 2 picks, let's keep going, and then someone dies and you get into an awkward spot.
Yeah.
Sounds like you, Dan, on T side and CT side, regardless of the situation or how many people are alive.
I'll kill everyone. And it's always good to look at the amount of players. So, like, you know, use those 2 picks, 5v3. You specifically want to play certain man-up situations in a certain way, like it's to trigger certain protocols. If you're a structured team, once you get that opening pick on the T side, you should have, like, everyone should already have then those protocols to understand, okay, these are the kinds of ways we want to play this round. And then your caller can kind of confirm which option you want to choose potentially, but
You have to know the risk. You just got to know the risk. You push by yourself, trying to take a part of the map. What is going to cost your team if you die?
And so protocols are really important. Oh, can't talk about that. We've got a very fast push on catwalk here. Dennis going all the way deep. Hello. What What a rude awakening for Sanji. Fitch now sandwiched. And that's it. There's nothing he can do. And that's the A bomb site lost. And it's save City again on the B bomb sites.
That's the round over.
It's really good strat by NiP. The cat split with one person kind of rushing up cat can work really well if they're playing the 2-1-2 setup and you have NiP ready to attack from long at the same time. So it kind of like pinches those two players in A.
It makes me feel as though at this point, after those fast timings happen, Avangar have to keep NiP honest by trying to post up an orb to watch over middle. But the problem with that is that there's quite a lot of risk because, okay, someone's running down suicide. You know, if you're taking that shot, well, there's going to be an orb, but like Forest is going to be like covering that. So, but that's the dynamic. You can't allow the T's to get those fast timings. You have to punish them because to get catwalk or any that much position on the map for that much, well, for free like that should be unacceptable.
Yeah.
The hero AWP. Well, there is an orc as well. Actually, it's not really a hero AWP because they've gone for the half buy. They've got armor, grenades, pistols. They will move to more erratic timing to cross the doors out of sheer fear. So Fitch's position is Molotov-able, but Dennis will walk straight through to his doom.
Lack of pop flash there is sucks. Considering they had those two players that could have done it. Rez, chief amongst those.
Is it a gamble worth taking? Now, there are 4 rifles all of a sudden for Avangar. Just been gifted one early. And a man advantage. NiP have taken long, and everybody is on long. You can see there is a stronghold on short for Avangar. The standard response, the natural response when long has been lost. Ninjas in pajamas will start to creep. They've got 4 Molotovs, which is really key. They've got 1 more smoke, not including that one. Sanji will drop on to create some space. We've got James. That's an amazing flick. 1 minute on the clock. HE towards the site, but NiP will continue slow, looking for a flank, which is on the way in Fitch. 3 versus 5. They've got plenty of time to plant the bomb, so no pressure there. Short still in control of Avangar. Deluxe be taken out now, but there is another one coming. James making his way towards long.
A lot of time already has been killed, burned. Nice shot from Rez, just holding down Catwalk. It's like a little turret. Gary will go down now. It's all up to Rez. Has to change his position. Just has to kill Keycurt. If he gets this kill, the other player's too far away. And it's not going to happen, it would seem.
Got to go back to that middle door play from Dennis.
It's not the right time for it.
I actually wanted to talk about that part exactly, is because Avangar played 2-1-2 last round, and Dennis exploited that by going up catwalk. So Dennis, thinking that Avangar will adjust by playing heavy cat, or maybe even 3 people towards A, he wanted to almost do the same thing but out middle.
Yeah.
But Avangar kind of had 2 people middle, so it was like those mind games at that point.
I think if they understood the buy, I think it feels like to me they didn't understand quite the buy of their opponents. But it can be hard to keep track of these days.
Well, Avangar is one of those teams. They have weird, sometimes horse buys that you think that they probably should be saving, but then they have these hero ops and hero rifles some of these rounds.
Speaking of weird setups, we've got the gamble stack on B, where you just make it kind of look like you're playing a 2-3 setup but instead it's a 3-2 setup. And it looks like a 2-3 setup because there's no presence in middle. But the reason for that is because that guy is in B. It's a huge risk. It is gambly because obviously if there's NAA pressure, you get kind of screwed. But if this happens, and they actually just go in for the B split, it's going to work out most likely.
Trying to buy time. Kika, that's beautiful. Looking for Dennis as well. Okay, we've got trades. That's a beautiful burst onto the car position. Now Avangar have 2 players left. Absolute brutality, especially with the 2K at the beginning. The fact that NiP are in this spot is very impressive. Going for an alternative plant. And I don't know if Avangar are going for this. Moving towards T-spawn, doesn't seem so. Sanji has an MP9. Plenty of weapons down, but mostly around the B bomb site. Well, that was a very interesting one. Looking at the beginning of the round, it looks like Ninjas in Pajamas want Dennis to be in some kind of harassment play, maybe to condition him to do one thing so they can then do another towards the mid position. So we'll see how that continues. I'm sure Stanji would like to get an upgrade to this MP9, so Jane will be the bait. Maybe if he picks something up. Look at NiP, not going past the angle. They've all got full health. They could even stand in the car position. They need not exit at all. The discipline is fabulous.
So it's very important to take out of that round if you're Avangar. Is it a bad call or just bad execution? And obviously it was the right call, but bad execution. People weren't looking at the right spot at the right time. Didn't expect all those people to kind of pour out the window. Vanguard doing really good on their calls on their CT side. I really like it.
Usually in that setup, you actually have a guy who's outside the doors, but by the crate, and then someone from the side will show their presence, kind of baits for that player. But nicely done. Rez looking on point today, as is Dennis. It has to be said for me that it's hard not to talk about Dennis because he was missing for so long with NiP, and now it's like he's just whatever he did. You know, I mean, I say whatever he did. He probably did a lot of stuff because he came back for a short time. He's like, nope, still, I'm going away again, and now he's finally back and he's looking like Dennis again, which is fantastic. And considering that he's playing well, Rez is finding more consistency the longer he is a professional player. Allegra is gaining more experience as an in-game leader. There will be a certain point where when enough comfort is felt with how the team runs these rounds and how they play and so on, that you'll have this, I think this almost, it's going to look like a honeymoon period type thing, although of course it's not. It's just that the team is well-oiled, everything is structured, everyone's very comfortable, they all have something that works and they can just sort of settle into it, relax into it. And Lekro, one of the things about him and being an IGL is that he's incredible individually. But IGLing has taken a huge toll on his individual level. But as things progress, I think that he's going to get better as well. I think the whole team is I think NiP in the current iteration is going to keep getting better, which is awesome.
It's so rare for a young person to take over the IGL role when you have people like Forrest and Get Right on your team who've been playing the game for 15 plus years. So it's really impressive to have that kind of mindset and I guess taking the role, for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I also like that throughout Forrest's career, he's stuck to his strengths.
Hey man, it's not easy being IGL.
It is not.
Oh, not expecting the other one. I wonder if they were going to go for a boost. Kiko with the AK-47, which is now being blown to pieces. Dennis dropped the molly to try and stop it. Beautiful awareness from Dennis. He throws the molly where he saw the AK and sprays just in case Buster tries to get it quickly. Definitely awesome preemptive play there from Dennis, and he gets his reward. Great spatial awareness, game sense. He's got himself some 3 kills so far. Fitch will pick up an AK-47, and with the AK on A, NiP will go towards B, and now they know that it's an empty bomb site, and it's time to try and save for Fitch. It's been a lot of saving in the recent rounds for Avangar. After 4 rounds in a row, it's been all ninjas in pajamas. This should be 5 rounds from 4 for NiP. So have the best days in this half come and gone for Avangar already?
Yeah, it's a distinct possibility with this sort of flow that NiP have found, and that's like why this can be a snowballing map. That's why it was more of a snowballing map before when the economy was different and you could get full resets on the economy. But it's partly because the CTs don't get many options, so if you it feels like you're banging your head against the wall to a certain extent. If you can't deal with the defaults of the T side, you're like, what can you do? You can't really go all that aggressive. It's very easy for then the T side to slow down the pace and then put a lurker in upper dark or to wait for you and like just mix up their timings in a way where they just catch your aggression, and the risk of the aggression is hard to manage. So you kind of have to just play good CT Counter-Strike and the defensive CT Counter-Strike.
Both teams on the buy. Once more. Pretty reasonable in terms of utility for Avangar. No Molotovs, 1 HE. Sorry, 1 incendiary, in fact, on Sanji.
Wow,
again.
Forrest.
What is going on? It's like he's making an adjustment.
It's like 152 is when he's spamming that shot in the smoke. 152.
Unbelievable. That's going to make Avangar really nervous towards the B bomb site, because if they continue to delay their pushes, their crosses rather, towards B, then they may be nervous of a fast play into B from Ninjas in Pajamas. And would you look at that? Presence shown elsewhere. And they will just walk in a brazen pick into CT spawn from Rez. Kikat's close. They heard him hit the Molotov. And they'll go for the double stack plant, leaving Sanji alone in CT spawn. That is really... I don't know if you could say unfortunate for Avangar, because Forrest has got something going on. It's not the first time he's done that in this half so far.
I mean, it is pretty lucky, but I kind of feel bad for Avangar, but that's the nature of the beast of this map. Those middle double doors can be so detrimental if you don't time the jumps right, you don't throw a smoke or a nade, kind of block the vision of the oppers. And Forrest, he's just, I mean, you hit 2 smoke shots in that kind of fashion in a matter of like 3-4 rounds. It's kind of ridiculous. That's not normal.
What you gonna do?
Mix up your timings, but then again, as you said, when you mix up the timings, they're susceptible to a B rush, and you kind of feel it. Maybe NiP is kind of hinting towards it. These picks keep coming.
It's some of the best CS I've seen NiP play in like a long time.
Yeah,
I know it's just online Counter-Strike, but I think it's clear to see the kind of work that they've been putting in, and how what are the... It's actually interesting. It's like sometimes like the path to mastery is really just like a journey in the most ruthlessly efficient basics, and just how you sort of mesh all those together seamlessly. And it really feels like more and more teams are getting closer to that idea. Because NiP are not doing anything complicated.
yeah, it's actually very simple. They're taking control of mid, smoking, opping, and whatnot, and then force Avangar to smoke, play passive middle. This gives NiP reigns to push up Cat, play towards Xbox, not being in any fear of being taken out.
There's a molly for that spot.
Where's the border off, Molly?
It's not my molly. It's just the molly.
That ain't my molly.
I thought you'd claim it like
oh no! What a round to potentially win. Where is Buster? He is on the B bomb site. If he rotates, which he's probably going to have to, then there's plenty of bounty between those, well, around those doors. There may be some interesting grenades for him to collect as well, so keep an eye on the inventory as they rotate towards the A site. Surely they're going for this. Buster's picked up an AK-47. Sanji's still got a pistol. Why? There's got to be guns down there. There must be. They killed so many people. Forrest now takes Buster out. AK is collected by Sanji. Sanji has a flash. Lekro's gone long with the AK. Forrest is close with the AWP. It is bad plant, but maybe the weapon's in the wrong places. Lekro's got a Molotov as well. Does he know a lineup though? Seems he doesn't want to give up his position. Doesn't want to expose himself. That's beautiful from Lekro. James got the AWP though. Lekro's got a peek because he won't hear a defuse attempt from there. There's no kit for James, so I think the round's been won anyway. But please learn that Molotov.
That one tap though.
Aish. Yish.
I was just like this. I was thinking to myself, there's no way that he can face and fight, because if he doesn't, because if they double face him there with the orb, there's no, they can just sit on the defuse. That's so mental.
That's so dirty.
It feels like that's the only way that he's able to win that round, because because James coming, and he'll be there really quickly after that, and then you just hold with the AWP, and James is gonna kill you. 100%, James will kill you. Will Forrest do it again? 152. I think you're onto something there. 152.
I'm all about the timings. I love looking at timings.
Should have been a Quake player.
I was.
Nice.
I was semi-pro Quake.
Nice.
Kikat's alone towards long. Get right to lurking. Throws a molly, shows some presence. Then rotates away. Maybe that gives NiP an extra man, maybe not. Kika probably heard that rotation actually. He's so close to those doors. But it's always a gamble to go through. He's got a shadow advantage, so should somebody venture in. But yeah, he has heard it. Again, you can hear so much information when you're so close to the doors. Oh, what do you hit? See Lekro though. Yeah, there's Lekro taken out. So there can be a quick flank, but now the threat is a key issue. You can see he stops. Look at him on the radar. Just waiting top mid at the moment. Fitch continues to reposition. 2 kills for Fitch so far. And you can see they're separated now. Forrest down to the pistol, but Rez has to stay on short because he doesn't know if that flank is coming. But no, Kika still staying top mid, and that is the example of the threat being more dangerous than actually pushing. And he's gone back towards that long position now, so he gives them an extra man in some ways. Buster moving through lower tunnel with the AWP. Red still looking for Kika, but he's coming up long. NiP are in a lot of trouble. Buster spotted on the Xbox, but that leaves Forest alone to face maybe even 3 players. Rez misses the shot. Now Forest has so much to do. 2 kills so far. Needs an ace really to hold on to this one. There is a kit onto Buster. He's so far away though. He has to stay alive for sure, but Jane will do the damage. 3 plays survive for Avangar. That flank from Kika was crucial.
Yeah, Kiker's been playing pretty well for Avangar in these last couple of days, just dropping bombs. Now the opposite is Sanji. He's been actually doing really poorly online, which is not too surprising, but at the Rio tournament, he was amazing. Pretty much MVP almost of the series of Rio. So I'm kind of wondering what's the hard transition from LAN to online. You mix it up. Forrest using that timing to go shoot at 150, 151 instead of 152. It makes a difference. 1 second makes a difference. A game of inches.
Get right, trying to keep Kiko on us there indoors, knowing that he's hungry for the push, for the information, for the stats. Maybe after sort of threatening the defaults, are going back to a long take. So they want to shut Kiko down. They want revenge. They want to bury him in a long. Kiko has support from Sanji though. Maybe not. Sanji's out of the picture now. Keycode is isolated. How many can he get? There's 1 for free. There's no trade because they are locked down. Even though they put the smokes on the corner, they're not pushing with it. And that's a problem. They'll trade out Keycode, but that took a lot of time and utility. And B has been shut down as well. So now there's only one option really for NiP. Let's see if it works for them.
Smoke up to create some space. Oh, that's beautiful from Get Right. Okay, just about made that one. Very, very nice. And that's bad positioning from James. All of a sudden, the 4 versus 2 is tied up, but there's only 15 seconds. Oh, Get Right looks away just at the wrong time. That could have been another one. 1 player on the B bomb site. Buster to find 2. Misses the first shot, and that's both players on the site now. The Molotov will delay where the plant can go down. Will it stop the plant entirely? Get Right's got 9 HP, but the bomb will get planted. It'll go down eventually.
Oh,
that's a slight spread, but it's down to Dennis. He can still do this.
This is so difficult. Oh, finds a good timing though as he goes out of the window. And Buster, he's going to hear Dennis, and Dennis will hear him. But who will be superior on the reactions? Beautiful stuff from Dennis, clinical. But Get Right, what a round from him. Absolutely saving things. And that's Dust 2 for you. 2 versus 4, someone's got an AWP, an AK, you can make stuff happen.
Yeah, but they baited them into the positions
so
as well.
Ridiculous. Just want to make it difficult for yourself. That's how you do it.
That's primary right there. Put the up and Get Right. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, yes. Bish, bash, bosh.
TK.
Buster does take some damage from an HE, I guess. Where is he? Yes, I guess an HE. Sanji in trouble. Such an awful position. Although double dink comes in. Dennis and Rez really weak, so that's good.
80 damage dink. It's ridiculous.
Clean-up operation from Buster, doing the best he can. Dennis gets taken out pretty damn quickly. The trades are to the advantage of Avangar, or they were. That could have been quite something. If the grenade didn't hit him, he may have had an extra half second to take them by surprise. Now, Avangar have all the information of where NiP were. Which means for NiP, they've got to be aware that Avangar could take very aggressive positions. You can see the reposition towards the long area, but that's going to make the rotation the worst possible towards this B bomb site. James going outside, considering smoking off, but AWP is much more powerful. But will he be ready with the scope? Has he got the timing? He'll hit a jump surely. Oh, that was a big opportunity for him. And now Fitch is coming from long. He's so far away. He doesn't have a kit. There might be one on the sides. Here comes the default plant. No grenades for the retake. A Molotov would be everything right now, but see if he can scrounge anything around this area. Okay, there's a defuse kit collected. Any grenades, though? There's a smoke as well. More likely to have a crossfire, though, than have somebody in the tunnel. I think these are very unsurprising positions. That's one versus one of get right. Can't ring the bell, though. Lekro comes out with yet another headshot for 9 rounds at half-time for Ninjas in Pyjamas. After a 4-round lead for Avangar, they only managed 2 other rounds. Can they turn it around in the second half? Find out after the break. And we're back. Ninjas in Pyjamas will continue on the CT side. Pretty strong that first half. I believe there were at least 8 bomb plants. Thank you, people on the tweeters, for the statistics. Keeping an eye on the savage success.
Maybe they have abacuses themselves, James.
What is the plural for an abacus?
Abacuses.
Abaci.
Abaci. Probably
There's
not.
no way, no.
I'm kind of upset that you guys haven't even learned it yet. It's had it
How
here
to
for how
use
many
it.
weeks?
We're busy, we're broadcasting, we're traveling, we're all over the world.
Just take it with you on the plane. And take.
Do you know how many
20
things I have to take with me? We'll talk about them later.
Put one less
It's a
shoes.
very long list. There's the lurk smoke from Avangar. Now, you can see them jumping around the smoke, trying to avoid those shots through the smoke, but Rez will have it easy. That's the bomb. That's a lot of information. Rez avoiding the flashbangs from his teammates, which will give them better chances to land these headshots. To land these headshots, they will. My God, only Rez has taken damage so far. And that was really bad because especially on Dust 2, where it's hard to do too much when you're on an eco or a force buy, if Dennis, Lekro, and Forrest all get the cheap helmet, then they're probably going to have M4s at least. Long range, don't need to buy the SMGs, they'll have more money over the long term. So Kika needs to achieve something. Well, that's a good start. That's probably a headshot actually, so Dennis probably still gets a cheap upgrade because that's not a touch to the Kevlar. There we go. Can we look at Dennis quickly? Exactly, there we go. He got a headshot, so he still gets the cheap armor upgrade because his Kevlar was untouched.
I feel like if NiP can continue to improve a little bit and maintain what they have and what we've seen in the last couple of days, I feel like they could make a deep run, like a good playoff run at the major, you know.
That's the thing about NiP, that they have that ability to win tournaments. It's just,
Yeah.
when are they going to do it? Is it November? Are they going to win again in November like they always do? But they have to be more consistent throughout the whole year instead of just... Because they have the potential. We've seen them do it. We'd like to see more consistency.
They're Vikings. They need that winter. They need the frigid temperatures.
That's true.
The grey skies.
2 Augs in the second round. That's brilliant. If you are NiP, if you're a Vanguard, that's really a bad situation. Dennis spotting many players in mid, but he's not overcommitting to any particular duel. Again, you've got to be careful with tight angles like this. If you stand still and try and engage somebody, you could, for example, have a Desert Eagle, then that could be a problem. He's also baiting for Forest as well. He's got Forest here. Just inviting these players to try and swarm him. We've seen a number in mid. Ding and a Dong with the Scout. Does anybody go for it? Forest will stay close and pick up the Org if necessary. Oh, the flashbang! Now we've got problems.
What's happening?
4 spies, let's go. The A-bomb site's being compromised, and I mean, Rez has an Org, so that's nice. That's a really important kill. Good stuff from Gerride. He can apply so much pressure. This makes such a big difference. It really allows Rez to actually do something here. Quick flash. Oh, it's absolutely perfect. Rez finishes it off. Actually gets some tagging on Fitch whilst he's airborne, as Fitch has expert use of the MP9 to nail Gerride as he flies around as well. And long range, Rez looks for that Org kill. He knows he's got an advantage at this particular range. But the problem is, he's going to go towards the bomb. No Kevlar, no helmets, and Rez will lock it down. But imagine if Gerride
no kit.
didn't win his 1v1. It would be impossible for Rez.
Oh, wait, I don't know. It's close.
It's going to be close. Oh, it's real close. I think he's got it.
I don't know.
He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it.
I don't know.
Oh,
wow,
God. That was very close.
That was 0 point.
I thought it was
negative.
guaranteed.
I know my beeps, man.
You know, in 1.6 it was a lot easier.
Way easier.
Because for some, in the 1.6 I always knew 100% of the time. I can't remember what it was, but there was the final. Oh yeah, in 1.6 there was the final phase of the beeps, and if you started defusing right before that, you're fine. If you defuse during that, it's just.
But there's different pacing as well, but perhaps
it's more
requires
subtle.
more focus. Yeah.
It's more subtle in the CS:GO than it was 1.6.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about the joys of the bonus money, if you will, not having to spend $1,000 on armor, the Orgs. It was all for naught. But that's the rough spot about when you've got a number of players who are inviting you to take a tight angle. I mean, that's a unusual example. Quintuple peek. If you have people like Deagles or something, and they're inviting you to peek through a tight angle like that, there's not too much correction for them to shoot you in the head. I think it's a low percentage. You're going to get shot in the head with a Scout when everyone else has got Glocks in that situation. So that was unfortunate for NiP, but great for Avangar. They invited an audience with ninjas in pajamas, and then it turned into the Red Wedding.
I think NiP got a little too aggressive during that round, as you saw Dennis kind of going back and forth like 4 or 5 times through the double doors trying to get the kills, and he probably didn't expect to get headshot twice with the Scout. He's got dinged through something through the wall.
There's the lurk smoke. It's important. The smoke is important because sometimes you make plays like this around it or by yourself, but sometimes it covers your entire team. This is actually hilarious. They're never going to expect it to be like 1 billion players down there. 1 billion! I don't think they spotted anybody still. Oh, hello! No, they spotted Rez. Oh my god, there's USPs everywhere, and there's actually dinks being made, but unfortunately the position is somewhat awful. However, okay, Lekro's got some deeks. Oh, he's done more, hasn't he? 3 kills with that. He's looking for the last play, knows he must be towards the site. Sanji's 1 bullet from death. There's 4 bullets left for Lekro. We can't make it happen though. Sanji will save the day. Lekro, give him a deagle. Give him an inch.
Get this man a deagle.
And he'll conquer the world. The entire world.
That's okay.
Oh my goodness.
Bloody hell.
The 180. You hate to see 180.
That shot was so sexy.
All of a sudden, the score is pretty damn tight. Both teams on the buy, 1 AWP, and that's in the hands of Avangar. That does not bode well for Ninjas in Pyjamas. James is very capable indeed. 3-man take off the long position. Avangar have 2 players outside long, just spotting for the time being. Really, they've got a 2-man setup outside long in case of a push from Ninjas in Pyjamas, which is interesting at this point. The bombs in T-spawn will presumably be collected shortly. Mac 10's on Dust 2. I aren't think that. CSGO devs threaten to put HLTV forum in all chat in all of my games.
Don't do that.
I hope they do. You deserve it.
Don't do that.
I wouldn't mind it. Unmutable as well.
No, don't do that.
The ticks would be the main problem. Tick, 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 tick. I would love that. But anyway.
It would actually be really awesome.
Ninjas in Pyjamas will need to defend the B bomb site, it seems, as 4 players look to burst. They don't have the orgs, and they really do make a hell of a difference in that situation. No kills, Rez taken out, and that might be a safe situation already. You can see the back off, which means something else in London. 4 players looking to survive for Ninjas in Pyjamas. I feel like if you're holding that position with an org and you're scoped in, you might get 1 or 2 kills a lot of the time. With the M4A4, it seems like a stark difference. That armor penetration really meaning something.
I feel like if he was in a different, because in that angle, you only see a tiny bit of them as they run out, so you have to insta headshot them. Because if they run to the right, as you saw, he can't see them anymore because of the tall box. So in that spot he's in, I prefer having an AWP than a rifle because you can't, I guess, follow the people hopping out of the bomb site, if that makes sense. And he's all by himself, so if he did not get an insta kill immediately, he's dead.
He's smoked.
He's dead. So it's really risky.
It's curtains.
I'd prefer to be on the right side of the box, like what we see a lot of players do. It's a little more obvious, but it's a safer angle for the CTs.
So Avangar doing a good job to tie things up. Not quite there, but almost. James wishes he could be Forest with those gap shots, but he's going to go deeper. He's a mixture of Forest and Dennis with this aggression down in middle with the AWP. Bomb left at T-spawn. Hope someone goes and gets it at some point. Actually, this map is kind of awkward for where you drop the bomb, because it feels like there's no natural, like it's very difficult like to rotate and get the bomb because T-spawn's so far out of the way of everything. But Kiko will be there. And I'm curious what the... Oh, okay. Not going to get the bomb then. Okay, it's Sanji's job. Okay, so I guess they're going for a B split then, given that the bomb is going towards the B bomb side at this point. And NiP have a decent enough setup to defend against this. Is Forrest... Yeah, I was going to say, is he boosted up here? He's not. But that is a really well-timed smoke. Seems to be able to push forward with a flashbang. This really creates problems, and they're going to give up middle. And now NiP know what's happening. Rez, good damage already. Oh my god, how has he done so much with the UMP? And Dennis and Forrest are there to respond, finish it off. Looking easy for NiP.
Dismantling. That UMP came in clutch. Some bonus money as well, and a rifle to pick up. A nice scenario in a nervous spot. James, not much he can do. Needs to hold on to the AWP. Reasonable chance of doing so. The money's not great for Avangar either. Their loss bonus is minimal. It will give them enough to buy. If James can hold on to his weapon, then he can drop. NiP may not want to hunt too much because, as you can see, they need to secure their own economy. So everybody's happy to just back off, draw the ceasefire. Here come the weapons once again. So the flashbang maybe helps with the delayed push from the remainder of the players. That second kill was really unexpected, though. Fantastic stuff.
It's kind of unfortunate that Avangar didn't have any more flashes to toss in the bomb site, and would have maybe created a lot more space for them to kind of run up on Rez. And also, if you toss the flash against that left lip, they'll bounce off the wall and hit the person if they're camping there and you hear it. So it's like a two-way thing if you had that extra flash.
Early pick for Avangar. See James, he can taste the hunger. He's ready for the peak. Will it come though? What's going on in the meantime? Moving up towards the A site of most of the players. So he's holding on for the rotation. That's a lot of info for Dennis. There's no flashbang there. There was no one with a flash really, so that was the only way he could do it. Didn't quite work out for him. Lekro creating space, trying to allow some space for the retake. HE towards the sides. But where is Forest? Just now rotating over. His teammate was lost, maybe to James earlier on. And here is Forest now, 1 versus 4. That's a beautiful tap, but it's not going to win him the round. He's got so much more to do. Trying to reposition. We still have a flank in James in lower tunnel. He's got the sound cues from Forest. And he's got to be doomed.
Never count Forest out.
Suggesting he could be going through the smoke, but he'll be spotted from the car position. Kiko takes him out. So a short highlight, but this is a pretty close game of Dust 2.
Yeah.
I'm curious what Dennis was doing in that round. It was like a minute 10 left in the clock, and he just runs out long. As you said, no flashes, nothing, no information. NiP had no idea really where Avangar was on the map, so...
Could jiggle, I suppose. There was no one on the site to flash for him. No one there had flashes, but just a wild run was brutal.
It's just maybe absent-minded play, maybe just kind of, zoned out for a split second. That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe he was just also super confident. I mean, one thing with Dennis, I have seen a few aggressive moves where I'm like, whoa, that's a bit mental. But generally, he's actually been delivering, and maybe that's part of his play that he was missing before in sort of just maybe second-guessing himself too much.
True.
So sometimes, in one round it might look really bad, but it might be a signal of a behavior that is overall in the long term very beneficial for the likes of Dennis. So we'll see how that does turn out as the match progresses. I actually felt like Avangar, I think in my predictions I said that I thought that they would win Dust 2 and that NiP would win the other 2 maps, Train and Inferno, but we'll see. Very close, as you say. And Dennis, is he on a gap? Is that a gap or no? I guess it's not. Okay, what is that spot?
That's weird.
That is a really weird spot, because James could see him, but he couldn't see James. And I think
Probably
James was on the left
elbow.
eye peak, and he's on the right eye peak, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
This is a pixel shot, probably.
Ooh, that must be it, actually. If it is like a right eye, left eye thing, and it's a pixel gap, it could actually be the case that the right eye is a bit too far to the right, and if that makes sense. And so it's actually obscured himself.
Camera probably didn't even help at all.
So it could be the case that that's actually just he was standing like a few pixels to the wrong location, and it became a horrible spot against another roll cut.
Here's how they hold their alps like this. Look at their elbows. You can't see it on camera, but they're like this. Looks so stupid. Hit my elbow, please.
Okay, well, that's going to be 11-11, and NiP need to save, so they'll likely lose the lead here. Yeah, there it is.
There's a little elbow.
Yeah, yeah.
How's that not 80 day? How is that not like a leg shot? Come on. It's your arm. You can still fight with one arm, right?
Well, and hold a rifle.
Yeah, it's just the model. It's not really left eye, right eye. It's just the model sticking out because of how he's holding the weapon.
Should be less damage.
Because
No,
you're
I don't
supposed to.
want
The camera's supposed to be between the eyes of the. I think it's the head between the head of the player or somewhere. I can't remember where it is, but anyway. We saw yesterday when Valve updated the draw animations. When you pull a weapon out or put a weapon away, some weapons swing out to the side and can concede your position. I think it's the AWP actually, which kind of swings around the side a little bit. So exposes information more than it used to. But it does seem more natural. NiP. You know, with all these big skyboxes and things, I would love a map where it had like Mecha Godzilla in the background. Like some anonymous place in Japan, and just had Mecha Godzilla just like stomping around in the sea in the background or something.
Oh,
like the original
a Street Fighter
like
level.
80s Godzilla.
On Street Fighter maps. Oh,
Oh, James in trouble. I would say he's at risk of losing his AWP, but James is taking care of it for the most part. Gets his bell rung. He's got support now. Just in time, here came the cavalry. Now Rez has little to lose. Many scalps to claim with the Desert Eagle. I like picking these angles in free-for-all deathmatch. And that's basically what Rez is doing at the moment. Doesn't quite work out.
So things are slowed down. Some of the tension's been diffused slightly whilst we wait for the buy to come back in for NiP, and here it is. So NiP, this is really the time to turn things around. The momentum is looking pretty severe from Avangar. They are doing really well on their T side, much better than NiP actually so far. So what is the answer? Lekro's on the AWP and Jamie's fearsome. Shooting at 151. We get more of a delay for NiP on the jump cross. Kiko going straight in long here in front of all the smoke, the flashes through everything. Seeing what he can find. He knows one's down through the pit, but has he been spotted? I don't think so. Lekro absolutely saved Get Right there. What a hero. But Forest cannot be saved.
Fight continues for the long position. Molotov to try and bounce towards Blue. He's just a little too close to it, but it did spread. He was doomed, it seems.
Part of Molotov.
I love those flashbangs off of Blue. I do those as well, but Kiko did them in a much better fashion. I'm not sure who put the smoke on the corner. Probably, well, it must have been a tease. So, has a support grenade. That is pretty awesome. Does Rez concede his position? Almost. Avangar considering it, but look at those bullets. Spinning in their direction. They cut noise. They have a man disadvantage. James looking for something again. He's looking for a B player to peek mid to find out what's going on over there. But it's not happening. I think he already took out a rotator, so NiP are aware of this possibility. Again, that will be developing over time now. If somebody was in CT, there'd be the sound cues. Do Avangar consider their position compromised already? They throw the grenades towards the A-bomb site. Lekro's forced back. They've got flashbangs up high. They've still got more flashbangs and mollies, but it's time to get the guns out. They're lining up! Oh, we got both of them, but Fitch is still alive. 16 HP. Lekro poking, prodding. Showing some flesh, baiting. Get right here to clean up. 15 seconds for the bomb to get planted. Sanji needs to eliminate one of these players. Too many angles. Looks to the right, taken down from the left. And the score is tied again. They're almost trading rounds back to back.
Oh, what a beautiful shot from Lekro. I like how Lekro lets Get Right take this angle and Lekro doesn't re-peek. That's the kind of thing that you need to be doing. If your teammate can hold the angle.
He actually waited for him to line up for the double as well. Pretty awesome.
Taking A from Catwalk with no one at long really is really, really difficult without flash for that rail. If they had a couple more flashes, they probably could have pushed back Lekro, maybe gained some ground on him. This is a very important spot to take. You have to have flashes. Otherwise, Opera's going to have a field day. Just peeking. Okay, I'll take a kill. Okay.
Kika still in T-spawn with the bomb. Moving into the suicide position. Having a look towards short, I suppose. The bomb has been left at the mouth of suicide in the 5v5. Collected by Sanji. This is very weird. So it was taken from T-spawn to suicide, then brought back from suicide to T-spawn. They do odd things with the bomb. If you watch it on the radar, Avangar, when it's in the... maybe they're just having a discussion. Democracy, what to do with the round. Putting their votes in the ballot box. They've been counted. What's that thing when they have a new pope and they the smoke is a certain color? Whatever it is. Someone tweet me. Someone knows there. Pope nerds, tweet me. 35 seconds in this 5 versus 5 raw peak from Kika. Dennis is the one to ring the bell though, and here comes a push towards the bomb site. They're lining up to take a ticket. And Forest's GP Dentistry. James left alone once again to try and save this AWP. And again, NiP's money's not in a spectacular position. They are hunting, however. It's a little better than it was last time I mentioned that. And James will try to hide.
And NiP have definitely found more comfort now in the last couple rounds, obviously winning them, but they look much more stable. And there, of course, they survive with 4 players, which is pretty huge, especially going to the final rounds of the half and map. This angle over these barrels, especially with scope, even without a scope, it's just like so ridiculously strong. It's very difficult if you don't have the flashbangs going through and the Molotovs and everything else. Okay, well we have Avangar now with 2 rifles. It's what, a sniper and an AK. Ready up to Jame and Buster to try to open things up for the team. They could go through Catwalk and try, Catwalk plant. I think with the AWP and the AK and the pistols, it could work out pretty well. The pistols will gain ground very quickly and the rifles covering. And perhaps they'll be working on that. They will be looking for Catwalk control here. And there's no one to stop them.
Pop Flash has mixed results. Maybe needs a little work.
Yeah, that looked completely off all that time. His teammates were already peeking the angle there.
Yeah.
So.
Again, on old Dust 2, Mousesports were amazing at flashing around these corners. We haven't really seen it on the new Dust 2, maybe due to the structures and changes. I'm sad that you can't boost over that wall. You look over the arch into mid anymore. But there we are. Maybe in the future. 40 seconds remain. Look at the utility for Avangar. They've baited out the counter utility or some of it for Ninjas in Pyjamas, who still have a lot of flashes. Get Right can flash behind Lekro from a long position. He's got 2 flashes, and he may have to do that now.
Ooh, that's close. Oh my god, so much fire. That's such good work from Avangar. But the Molotovs, the dink comes in for Get Right, but he can't finish off Jane before he shoots him. What a huge kill that would have been. But still a chance here for the remainder of NiP. But will they go for it? Their money's not great, so they're going to actually hold B.
That was absolutely wild. There were flashes from both sides. Get Right deployed both of his. Lekro couldn't see anything. I've never seen so much fire on the A bomb site in the execute. Literally never. Like around Lekro's position, just couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it was a close and a deep molly on the ramp. It was fully covered.
That's what makes those FPs from Catwalk so powerful and dangerous. It's really hard for the Opper to actually see it coming because it goes so high in the air. It goes above the scopes. And so the Opper has to turn around, fall back, and you saw the whole round Lekro was blind, sitting in the Molotov on that ramp. So Vanguard, really good job adjusting on that cat tag, using a lot more chain flashing. That's something I want to see more of in all maps, a lot more chain flashing. I see a lot of pop flashing, but it's usually just 1, 2 at the very most. You saw right there, Vanguard tossed like 3 or 4 at least on top of the Molotov. So very, very good execute by Vanguard.
Yeah, it's all about gaining position quickly. And if they're blinds and they can't shoot you, it's pretty strong.
I was a little worried because Jamie shot that op shot like so late in the round on Catwalk, thinking that NiP might overstack because of that op shot. But fortunately for Vanguard, they did not do that.
13-13. I feel like it's been tied almost all the way in the second half. Once it was brought close again. Looks like a good one for Ninjas in Pyjamas towards the end of the first, but here we are. I think both teams are almost at the edge of their economy, as it has been the case. That often makes for a pretty good game with the trades back and forth. No money in the bank, so to speak. Jane waiting for his time. Does he jump up on the box? There's a flash for him to take the superior angle. It's been spotted by Forrest though, but he can't quite hit the mark. Seemed he was considering going for a repeat, but he's not quite ready to do that just yet.
Up into Catwalk they go. So precarious. No one really exchanging any damage in mids. And you can see NiP's setup is pretty strong if Avangar decides to go towards B, but with that kill, do they change their plans? They know that's going to be a B player. They always drop this smoke. Nice from Jame. And absolutely terrible round now for NiP to try to recover. Rez by himself on the B-bomb site. He needs like 3 kills at least. Well, probably more than that at this point. He's completely alone. And Lekro is far away on Catwalk. Oh, it doesn't get anything there. The first few bullets whiffing.
Standing in a choke point like that versus an org, I just see everybody dying. I see it. And nightmares.
This was a great round from Avangar, the way that they handled everything. The way that they flashed around middle, took up positions. NiP kind of wanted to fight around middle, but Avangar's utility usage was really good.
Yeah, it's really strong, I guess, position on a map like this. Avangar taking control of Catwalk like they did the round previously. NiP maybe playing a 2-on-2, assuming a B split or whatnot. But the beauty about all that is, as you said, Avangar setting up for the rotates. If you're playing 2-on-2, you're posting up with AWPs and rifles and stuff in middle, it's very difficult for the CTs to rotate back to A when you already have Catwalk control.
James been such a pain for them, holding that angle, looking for just punishing the information peak essentially in multiple rounds. I think that's the third time he's done that, but he never had that much success, so he's just posting up once again, inviting them to look for that information. So there's the Molotov that we were talking about. That's the one that there's a video of. Bounces on that concrete spike or whatever it is. It just goes right below the door. Yeah, off there. Thank you.
I wonder why that's there. Concrete spike doesn't make sense.
So you don't climb over it when it's it's an old fortress, isn't it?
It's like, no, I don't. Maybe. No, I don't know.
Clearly, it's a defense mechanism.
Dennis, how many can he get? That's one. Oh, he's got two. That's the bomb. So much damage from the Deagle. He's given his team a chance. He slowed them down as well. Dennis diving forwards. There's no other. Okay, there's one other Deagle on Rez, and Rez is all the way dead now. He's gone.
He's all the way dead.
Blown away.
It's all the way dead.
So looking at the radar, I'm like, where is he?
James, no fear from him. He's getting tagged and Lekro's creeping. He's gone past the angle of the scope. Kika there to clean up, however. Forest is eliminated, and this is still, well, I wouldn't say it's doable because there's no kit for Get Right, but with a P250, looks the wrong way. That was a dangerous one for Avangar. They took the plateau for granted, and then it's punished them for doing so. One headshot. You can see Fitch playing anti-flash there, but no one's actually just watching the angle. Brutal. Took 50 from Sanji as well. And now it's game point for Avangar on their pick of Dust 2. Again, this didn't look like we'd get this far at half-time, but what a turnaround.
Yeah, I saw Dennis getting like 3 or 4 there. He's taking his time as well. But indeed, it's not over yet. Overtime is still a distinct possibility here for NiP. And Avangar. Forest will take one to the legs. And Avangar have been playing really slow defaults, generally speaking, in the recent rounds. And it's been working out, honestly. They also have shown some diversity to how they, like when NiP, they're ready for NiP to play picks, Jane will defend. If it's not the case and they have to run a set piece onto a site, like A, for example, that was very strong from Catwalk. So NiP, they're in this rough spot because Avangar play these really slow rounds, and then when they go for their set piece, NiP don't have the counter utility to really stop it. And it looks like we might see that cat set piece again, presumably the smoke on the ledge here. That smoke's really important to throw very often because sometimes you want to actually execute behind it because it gives you some extra space to line stuff up. And sometimes you need to just throw it just because you need to have the question that sometimes it's an execute, sometimes it's not.
Counter smoke grenade from Dennis, looking to cause more problems. Rings the bell of Fitch. He just about survives the encounter, but Lekro will finish him off. What was that? Really weird. I'm glad that smoke actually popped. That was really bizarre. He's created some space for himself. Up he goes, down he goes. 3 versus 3. Avangar playing for the game. NiP playing for survival in this first game of this best of 3 series. Bombs being planted. Get right spots. And now there's only 2 remaining. Sanji is miles away. Butter's got so much to do. Where on earth is Sanji? He's got a Molotov. Does he deploy it? Surely he deploys it. Holding angles instead. Someone tell him he's got a molly. Oh, why doesn't he use the molly? He had a Molotov.
I don't know.
I guess it wouldn't really have done much anyway because there's so much time on the bomb at that point.
They can't hold angles.
So if he gets a pick and then baits a little bit, then throws a Molotov, I think
But
this might be
he could get
higher
a pick
value.
and they could defuse it behind the box. Regardless.
No, but I don't think they.
I think what he's trying to say, if he has that pick first, then NiP might get off the bomb, or they might try to kill him. I don't know.
Throw the molly, man.
Throw the molly chest.
Fired off.
A little sloppy though by Avangar in that post plan. Could have had it.
Because I don't think they knew where he was as well at first, so if he throws it, they know where he is as well. Double ups on the T side is the adjustment from Avangar. I wonder if did they leave an AK in spawn maybe? Perhaps? No, okay. Fair enough. Now the thing is that NiP I think have learned not to contest in the mid round too much, because Avangar have been really good at setting up traps and getting picks with the orbs. So if we enter a territory here where this happens again, where Avangar try to slow things down, they try to look for picks, they try to bait utility, and NiP don't do it, then they have to execute into a site with 2 AWPs, which is what we're sort of looking at right now. I don't know how successful that will be. We'll have to see if they can make this work. It will be awkward, but there's not too much of a defense on A here, really, for NiP.
All the smokes. Imagine if someone was... Oh, there's a wall of smoke. Okay, this is very interesting. A different variation. There are, I think, 6 smokes. 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6 smokes. Lecro standing in one. This is a high variance situation for both sides. This is absolutely bananas. Lecro's taken up. Get right sees nobody towards long. We've still got Kikat looking for a rotation. He's playing the Jane position. Doesn't quite work out for him. Avangar. Well, they're asking too much with this execute into the A bomb site. Sanji with 5 HP versus 4. He's taking Get Right out. There are no grenades that could hurt him. Oh, Dennis flying, showing some presence. Looking for a trade fragger, Sanji. Dennis up again, looks left, taken out from the right. And that's overtime.
I've never in the last 5 years seen so many smokes on the A-bomb side in a professional game of Counter-Strike. That was awesome, actually. I love that Lecro threw the Molotov forwards, threw the smoke forwards. Really strong use of CT utility here.
Now Vanguard, they've been working mid and pretty much mid the entire... Okay, that was random.
What is that?
You gotta take those. You gotta take them when you can get
That
it.
is so sick.
I did wonder what happened there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to break. See you back here in a second.
Nobody's gonna hold your hand when it comes to healing. Nobody's gonna understand why you still feel the way you do. Even on my lonely days, I know that I am still loved. It's pretty often that I feel I just don't fit in, and that's okay, 'cause everybody's different, and not everything works out. Sometimes I just need to step back and value who I am. I am glad to be here. Up and down, around and back again.
And we're back in black, back on the attack. Ninjas in Pajamas continue defending with 2 AWPs in their first round. Avangar, you can see Ninjas in Pajamas have adapted to these executes from Avangar on the short area with the smoke up for a setup. It does obscure vision for Avangar as well. And a lot of people take that area for granted, setting up behind it. I often think that double HEs there would be catastrophic, but you're not really seeing that at the moment in professional Counter-Strike. Maybe one day you will. Again, the bomb taken through suicide. Avangar clearing the usual areas. Will Jame post up on his position? Lecro may have spotted 2 pass. A warning shot, perhaps. Indeed, Jame is in his usual position now, looking for a rotation. And now offering something a little different. You can see the Molotov there from Ninja's Pajamas. So NiP are aware of the default of Avangar. You can see that Jame in the doors being shooed away with the Molotov. They've adjusted to the executes on short. So Avangar may have to offer something different now.
So one cool thing with the smokes in mid from Avangar is they pull, you can see they pull a CT into CT spawn, which effectively weakens the A defense and pulls that player out of position. Now there's a guy in CT, it's awful. Lecro has to defend by himself. He might just do it though as he drops off after the second frag. The quick pop flash to Long as he goes for the next kill. He's absolutely nailed it. Lecro with a quick flick, he'll finally be silenced, but the damage has been done. It's been significant. The desperation plant for Avangar as NiP rally for the retake.
Man advantage for Ninjas in Pajamas. Jay moving up to the long position. I'm not sure if the bomb was planted for him or if it's... Oh, that could be diffused behind a box, I do believe, unless maybe there's a fine angle if he's up on the platform, but he's not at the moment. There is a late flank coming in from Rez. James trying to do 2 jobs at the same time. He's looking the wrong way. He could get shot in the bum. Rez picking the right timing. James convinced no one is coming, but... NiP, surely they're too far away, or are they? Dennis has to win this duel. He does. He doesn't have a kit, though. Rez is one of the kit. He's not going to get there in time. No!
No kit? You're an OT!
It's too late. It's too late to apologize.
You're an OT!
Oh, God.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts to see when you do all that and then to lose because you don't have a kit.
The timing was perfect, but the utility was not.
So it looks like only Rez and Lecro had kits. And normally the kit would be on the side, because Lecro normally would be on the side, but in this instance, he's just everywhere. So, whoa, actually, didn't Dennis run past the kit?
Probably. I don't know.
He ran straight past the kit, because the kit was on crossover.
Unfortunate.
Oh dear. Oh well. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
It's time you don't want it to happen, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty impactful round. I was going to say, right before that round started as well, you know, been impressed with Lecro and how he's handling A, because he's often just the only guy there, and there's so many set pieces that have been coming in, you know, around his territory, and he's had to be the guy to deal with that. And it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but... Holding an aggressive angle towards Catwalk, and there is Avangar ready to peek. And beautiful setup here. One more to go. Lecro is reposted, and the smoke goes down. The bomb is actually lost behind the smoke. There's big problems here for Avangar. They got to go for this bomb, but do they wait out the smoke? If they do,
Lecro's got a smoke.
It's going to burn some time.
There goes the smoke. 2 smokes. Oh, I think he might have seen... He would have seen Buster, I'm pretty sure, had he held the angle. But how can you know? What a unique situation. Wasn't sure what to do. And the bomb has been rescued. 30 seconds. Now, they could just try to burst back towards short. Maybe feeling like... Well, they've got possession of long. So, James having a look again for the rotation. 18 seconds, that bomb has to make it all the way up long, trying to distract with the flashbang towards long, doesn't quite work out. Is Lecro even aware of it? More grenades flying through now, 10 seconds to get onto the site. They see him by Gandalf, Buster makes it up, he makes it deep. But again, the bomb's got to get planted. 3 seconds is too late, he's waited too long, looking for the repeak. Someone who's dead has to say Like, in that situation, he can't look at the clock and all that stuff that's going on, so someone else has to say, like, 5. You know, just put a number out there, put it in his head, allow him to respond.
Is that why they have a coach?
Yeah, but a coach can't always talk, so I think one of the players should do it, just so you're in the right habits when you play at LAN and the coach can't talk.
On LAN, yeah. But we're not on LAN.
Yeah, but you got to condition him to be ready for LAN.
You should. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I know I'm right.
But the coach should chime in at that point.
Yeah. I mean, if no one else is doing it, but you want them to. The guys who are dead, they need to be, you know, focused, not biting their nails and staring at the walls. Still a team game, even when
so
you're fragged.
easy.
That was a mistake.
This could be 17-15 for NiP. I mean, even though they lost that first round, I feel like they're looking pretty good. The utility is dwindling for Avangar. They will go back and get the bomb now. They really like these slow defaults on the T side. And I have to say, you know, it does work out for them, because whenever they get that catwalk control, their catwalk attacks onto A are strong. They are strong rounds.
I was going to mention that they need to use long more, I think. I think they're using cat mid a little too much. Yes, it's been working, but NiP kind of figured it out. They've kind of figured out the timing, the spacing, and how to counter it in a way. And for the most part, NiP just leaves one long every single round.
I think we saw some adjustment from Avangar in a previous round where they sent 2 or 3 towards long, tried to telegraph what they were doing towards short. But here we are, 16 apiece. Ooh, we've got the harder way. Oh, Forest is here now in Lecro's position, delivering the goods. Man advantage, 6 seconds. It's got to be another timeout win. They go for the wallback. No! Kikert saves the day. Bomb plant for short, but they no longer have short. You have to run in like MacGyver with the elastic band and the twig. And now it is Kikert left. 1 versus 2. Knows where 1 is, but he can't do it. Lecro finishes off the AWP work started by Forest. And that is 17 rounds for Ninjas in Pajamas.
It actually felt like NiP got every round on this CT side, but obviously they conceded that first one. It was juicy, you know, it was like a milliseconds for Dennis lacking the kit. But it is 17-16, 2 rounds on the CT side for NiP. And NiP had a pretty strong start on the T side. So I wonder where it's going to be now, because they've been on the CT side for a while. That's like one of those overtime dynamics where you get all the momentum on one side, and the play style at the other side is pretty different. But and one of the things that NiP were benefiting from was playing really aggressively. They had a lot of really fast timings on catwalk, you know, running down mid. But Avangar are going to have AWP straight away. We see double AWPs. Now, in overtime, you've got to be really protective of the AWPs because your economy is very fragile when you do this as the CTs. So you don't want to challenge middle with an AWP, really. It's not something that you're really looking to do, because if you're in a situation where you lose that AWP, it's a problem. And there it is, a punish on the fast timing to catwalk. We talked about that, and it's the first time we're going to see it, but in overtime.
Lots of grenades moving into that middle area. Sanji is long with an AUG. He's got 1 flashbang. So if James needs some help, he can flash behind him once. It's always key. The players round long with flashes for each other. That's a big HE from James. Very good timing with the Molotov as well. Now, there are 3 players very deep for Vanguard. They're committed to a B play with a lack of information. And that's a lot of players to come in on the low ground of the retake towards A, which is painful for a CT side. We've got Mollies towards Goose. James trying to look away for a flash. He's scoped and he won't see the player on the ramp. That's Rez. No, it's Get Right, in fact. But Rez takes him out from the high ground. And it's abandoned ship from Sanji.
All right.
Nice.
Well, there's Kikert dead. 4 versus 3. What you gonna do now?
Good kill from Fitch. Confident stuff. Is there going to be time here for Avangar? We try to press on this A-bomb site again. They're carrying a lot of value here. They've got to be sure if they're going to go for this, but just like that, in a moment, they're all wiped out. And NiP definitely looking like the better team in the last 5 to 10 rounds or so. They're looking really consistent. Avangar starting to struggle. Their money's not in the best place ever.
Yeah, even in OT, NiP showed Avangar something new that they haven't done yet in the match, and that was hop off catwalk and kind of charge the long A or rail area. I think it was Rez in that situation. So brilliant call on the move. That subtle differences made a huge difference in the round.
Very true. Sanji tagged by the auto sniper. Down to 67. All right, NiP, you need one more round. You can end this madness.
This has been a really close game. I love the
Yeah.
back and forth at normal time. But normal time has come and gone. We're in overtime now. And Ninjas in Pyjamas are in a strong position. We'll check the miss out. Okay, short has been taken. No one's long for Avangar. James is making his way over there though as I speak. And it seems there may be a focus here from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Forest. Waiting for it. On the C side, it was Avangar being so patient, picking up the frags on rotation, but this time it's NiP, and they're going to be going towards B after this harassment towards the A site. The A players are going to be so far out of position that this is a great call from NiP, and it looks like they may go through the tunnels, but they have a timing window, a certain degree of time before the Avangar CT players figure this out, and they're going to be start rotating already. Nice trade from Lecro to make things difficult, and now everyone's getting wiped out.
How about that? Oh, that's so beautiful from Forrest. Even though he goes down, James getting tagged. He's still alive though. He got shot in the back from somewhere. But then it's by the window. Forrest. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, the bait. That is so brave, and it's enough for NiP to take it. 19-16 over Avangar. That was awesome. What a way to end the first game.
That was such a close match between Avangar and NiP. I guess one of the things I want to point out for Avangar, they had a really good T-side game plan, always trying to work mid catwalk, and for the most part, it worked really well. As I mentioned earlier, after a certain amount of times doing it, you have to adjust, because NiP will adjust, and they adjusted nicely to Avangar's mid and catwalk take. So maybe more long takes, maybe a B split, maybe even more B takes in general. You just have to know when to adjust in the match.
Yeah, it's a great game from the likes of Lecro and Get Right as far as NiP are concerned. I felt like, Lecro anchoring that A bomb side was really, really critical to their success. And I feel like Get Right just created some surprising clutches and performances that really helped to swing things in their favor as well. But I agree with you about Avangar's game plan. I liked how they put NiP in the position where they were trying to slow bleed them. A lot of teams are going to get really impatient against that play style, and then to have the executes to back that up when the other team adjusts and you have to play slower yourself. I like that they had the set pieces that were super strong. Like, it really shows a more complete game plan, good team play. And Kika, as you mentioned, really up there, 3,300 damage. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, that was a big output. That was a really enjoyable game of Dust 2 from both sides. I thoroughly enjoyed that. We saw great play, but I think the adjustment from Ninjas in Pyjamas, learning the behaviors of Avangar and countering them, was really the main story, and that's what allowed them to come back after having that lead at half-time. So great play from both teams, but NiP they've got a big brain game on the go. So I have looked up the second map 3 times, and I've forgotten it immediately every single time.
Is it train or Inferno?
It's train, and then Inferno's last one. Thank you very much. Unbelievable. Right Brain's not engaged yet. Hopefully yours is. Again, tickets are available for the finals, which is what these teams are playing for. ECS.facebook.com is where you can pick up those tickets. So check out the website. There are some student discounts, among other things there as well. So if you are trying to be a learned man or woman, then you can get in for cheap. So have a look at that. Get yourself down to London. But stay tuned, because after the break, it will be map 2 of this best of 3 series.